Welcome to OBM Unscripted, where the systems get sassy, tech tantrums are tamed, and real talk rules the mic.
We're your hosts. I'm Christy Beard, your go-to strategist and business coach.
I'm Manita Brooks, your operations and tech whisperer.
And I'm Lena May, the guru of systems and workflow magic.
We're all accredited OBMs, and we have seen it all.
If you've ever wanted to scream into a client brief, cry over Zapier, or Google, "Can I invoice for emotional labor?" you're in the right place.
This is your space for behind-the-scenes stories, hot takes, and community vibes for OBMs, VAs, and online service bosses.
Real talk, real answers.
Unfiltered,
Unscripted.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to OBM Unscripted. We're so happy to have you here. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Today's episode, we're talking about collaborating with other online service professionals. So we do a lot of collaboration, not only with each other, but with other OBMs, VAs, transaction coordinators. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today and talk about some of the benefits and some of the cons. So let's get started with Maniba because she has an agency and she does this more often than anyone. So Maniba, tell me some of the best things you get from collaborating with other service providers.
All the good things. I can't say enough about it. As I was building and growing my agency and talking to more and more business owners and really trying to dial into what they want, when you're moving from the VA space into an OBM space, it's like you have to have that mindset shift of now you're not doing all the things. You're not going to be a generalist that can do a lot of things. Okay. You really want to up your quality of deliverable, and you want to make sure you are bringing in the best subject matter experts at whatever thing you want to accomplish. So I started reaching out to OBMs who went through the same program we did and found a lot of good synergies there where, you've got OBMs who specialize in systems, OBMs who specialize in learning management systems, and all of these different niches that the OBMs have. So I started kind of referring clients out a little bit, just goodwill gesture. I don't really need anything in return. But then you kind of start to rely on them as part of your arsenal when you're talking to clients that, well, yeah, I've got someone who can do this. I've got someone who can come in and do that. And then, it becomes so natural. They already kind of feel a part of your team. Same thing with VAs that I work with. I've got a social media VA who is so good at social media, just does all the things. Another one who's a web developer, and another one who does, general EA stuff. Another one who actually works with neurodivergent clients. So I'm able to piece off a lot of these project pieces that come across my desk. And at the end, you have a really, really happy client because they're getting like the best of the best that's able to really hone in and figure out what they want and help them with that exact thing at a very high level. So if anyone is ever curious about, should you collaborate? Yes, of course you should collaborate. For me, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think the truth is there's plenty enough business to go around. And I think collaborating with other service providers or other online business professionals is the fastest way to grow. And I think, Maniba, you have shown us that. It's, the first chance you have to delegate a task out, the quicker you grow because you now have more bandwidth to put towards the things that will grow your business. That's the exact definition of working on your business and not in your business. And I think that's a great step that most people should take. I don't think you should be afraid of working with other people and collaborating with them at all, because like you said, it gives you, if nothing else, it gives you more people that you can pull from to help your client base. And who doesn't want that?
I love collaborating in the real estate space because sometimes you find these powerhouse VAs or these powerhouse transaction coordinators who do the job so much better than you do because that's all they do. So I love collaborating with them going, oh yeah, I know this transaction coordinator that'll be great for you. and just refer them out or even bring them into a project to help move things along. Like you, I kind of piecemeal it, but the clients are happy because now you've become a resource. Like, hey, Lena, you sent me Allison. She's a fantastic TC. Now I need a VA. Can you help me find one? So I can do that. Usually that's for a cost. It's still going through the process like an agency, but I enjoy that I've now become a resource for other business owners, even if I am referring out work, because now they're going to refer people to me to find the things that they need. And that's super enjoyable.
Yeah, I would say too, just to hit on a note real quick, is entrepreneurship is isolating. And when we can work with other people, it allows us to borrow their momentum, their ideas, their clients, the systems, all of that stuff. We get to, it just helps our journey as well. We get to just speed up our mindset and our enthusiasm for working with clients and doing the things that we do. Like
Piggybacking on Christy's point, I think as OBMs put a lot of pressure on ourselves to know all the things, to know all the tools, to be able to do all the things, to be able to give the best service. But I think if you really look at honing in on your zone of genius and what you do really, really well and what you actually enjoy doing, you'll find that your time frees up. Where now you can delegate out these things that you don't necessarily enjoy, but you feel lighter, you feel more productive, and it helps you grow your business in a sustainable way. Like, for example, I was talking to another OBM who was like, AI stuff is just like, I just can't wrap my mind around this AI stuff. I hate it, But then I was like, well, such and such is actually really good at it. Why don't you guys connect and see if maybe you can tackle it together? And then they were like, yeah, this is great because I can keep doing the things I really, really love doing and not have to learn how to mess with Zapier and Make and N8N and all those things are just so overwhelming. I'm like, it's okay. You can still be effective even if you don't enjoy AI. But if your client is asking for AI, bring someone else in who can handle that portion. It doesn't make you less competent at your job. It does make you more competent and more successful if you're able to delegate those pieces out to people who do like that. Then you can still bring that full service to the client and not have to break your brains about retraining yourself on something that you just hate.
Yeah, it brings a whole new level to I know a guy in the conversation. And who doesn't like to, when a client says, I need X, and you're like, I don't really know a lot about X, but you're like, oh, I know a guy, and then so you can actually refer out and it helps everybody, I think.
That was a great point about expanding your capacity, but I also think you can expand your capacity without burning out with multiple projects because you can collaborate with other service providers, staying in your own zone of genius while you see if they want to collaborate on this project. You guys work out, a payment or a retainer or what referral fee, whatever happens there. But it's a great way to bring on your capacity and, like you said, still grow. I also think it leads into building trust faster with clients because, like you said, Christy, I know a guy.
I plan on leveraging this within my program too, because I know enough about a lot of things, but if I want to dig in and I want my clients to be able to dig in and expand their business, I'm not going to try to teach them AI when I know just a snippet. I do plan to utilize the resources and the other people, the business owners that I know, if they specialize in something, instead of me trying to create a course or create resources for them, I plan on just utilizing them and bringing them in and saying, hey, I don't know everything about AI. My clients, they want X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z. So let's collaborate. Let me put a link in my program that links back to you. I'm totally okay with doing that. It's not really an affiliate, but maybe like a referral type thing. But I plan on doing the same thing with I don't know, any platform. I know ClickUp, but I'm not really big on Hotspot or, some of the other ones. And so I plan on leveraging some of the resources and some of the business owners that I know that do specialize in those. And I agree. I think that will build trust. It will let my clients know that I'm not trying to say I know everything, and I'm okay with bringing in specialists that do niche in areas that I know they need help in.
The other thing I really love about collaborating is that you learn new ways to do things, or you learn something in the other provider's process that you're just like, oh my God, how did I not think of that? And it makes things easier. And then behind the scenes, the two of you are collaborating. Like, I really love the way you've set up this ClickUp board. Tell me how you did that. Or I really love the way you integrated this into your system. Tell me how you did that. So you're learning from each other. And then next time somebody might say, hey, Lena, I'm having trouble setting up a Trello board. I don't know how to automate something. Can you help me? Absolutely. It really gives a good sense of community with each other because you're sharing information. You can go on YouTube and learn anything, but when you know somebody who already knows the information you're trying to learn, it's so much easier. You're more attentive. You come up with better questions instead of just watching something that's drones on and on. You're just like, oh my gosh, yes, let me learn this and let me see how I can now make this stick into my own system. So I really
Well,
love that.
and I think too, we can't forget the collaboration doesn't just stop with you can help my clients with X, but you can help each other grow your businesses. You can collaborate with lead magnet swaps, podcast swaps, do workshops together, do like a joint offer or a joint workshop. And it benefits both if you have complementary audiences that you don't offer X, but they do, and your audience needs X, then it's a great opportunity to collaborate to grow your own businesses as well.
In a way, I think it kind of also doubles as a bit of professional development, Lena, just piggybacking on what you said, is a lot of times you're working on a project and you bring someone in that to handle something that you're not really familiar with. So now you're seeing all the pieces come into place, and then you're like, okay, this is starting to make sense. And you can ask questions and try to piece them together, as opposed to you now going out and finding a program that's behind a paywall. And now you have to do a financial investment to learn from these people. So you're actually kind of learning on the fly. And for me, at least, when I can learn in a hands-on way by actual implementation, I retain it better, as opposed to a structured program that I'm now going to have to pay hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars for. So you end up developing your own skill set as you collaborate with others as well. So I think it's a win-win all around.
I joined a Facebook group and I was getting a lot out of the group. It's a very busy group for real estate assistants and real estate transaction coordinators. And I was just learning so much reading the problems that they were having and seeing some of the solutions that everybody had a different solution for the same problem got me really excited. But I really honed in on one of these conversations. So I reached out to these people individually and said, hey, do you have 15 minutes for a coffee chat for me? I would love to learn more about this. And I have not yet been told no. I reached out to 10 people. I have 10 coffee chats set up for the next month, just trying to understand these different systems for a problem that I'm also having that they already have solutions for. So you're right. If I can sit with these people and learn on the fly what they're doing and run through that example, man, I take so much away for it. And I get really excited because now I have new connections as well. So if anybody comes up and says, hey, Lena, I need this CRM and I'm not familiar with this CRM, I know somebody who I trust because they've actually taught me that I can send them to. I love that.
Right. Yeah. It's like when we stop seeing others as competition, we start seeing them as allies, and our opportunities multiply. It's a win-win for everybody. I totally agree.
What are some of your favorite collaborations that you've done so far? You don't have to mention client names or even collaborators, but talk about projects that you've been really excited about where you collaborated with someone.
Overall, broad strokes, I love collaborating with other OBMs. I learned so much because everybody does have their niche and their specialty, and they're already operating at that high level. So being able to collaborate with other OBMs and be able to either bring them onto the project to work side by side or referring the project out, I really do enjoy those. I don't ask for any fees or finder's fees or whatever. I think that's ridiculous. But at the same time, it's like, I really appreciate the learning that I get from it. I recently also worked with an agency that does a specific CRM implementation. And it was so cool to be able to just peek behind the scenes where you've got this team of like 10 professionals working on the one project to get it set up and looking at their processes. How one is specifically the developer, one is specifically the person who does the scope, one is specifically the one who does the client care, one is specifically the one who does quality control. And to see all of these processes and how it works like a well-oiled machine from this agency, I think I really enjoyed that collaboration because that team was fantastic, just blew everything out of the water. And I think there is value in having that kind of collaboration, not just, with the independent OBMs, but even with larger agencies. I think you really get a peek behind the curtain to see how things are working and how their systems are set up, but also how they're implementing the system that you asked them to implement. Great learning all around. So I just enjoy collaborations, period, but those are my highlights.
Yeah, I would say the ones that I've enjoyed the most are the ones that have the most variety of niches. And you get to learn the different points of view and the different vocabularies even that each entrepreneur or each business owner has. And I think those have been my favorite. And I think I've taken the most away from those types of projects. Most of those have been, for me, brick and mortar, where, you're working with engineers and contractors and codes, and when you're doing a business build out, those sorts of things. So you take knowledge with you with each collaborative project that you do like that. And I think that has been overall some of my favorite projects and things that I've done in the past.
I also think collaboration helps us build our business and build our confidence because working solo is kind of lonely, and working in collaboration with someone else, it kind of gives you accountability that you would normally have because they are counting on you to help their clients. You also get a new sense of friendship from other service providers because you don't feel suddenly isolated and alone. Somebody else is going through the same things you're going through. Has there ever been a time where you've collaborated with someone and you're finally like, I'm so glad someone else gets my frustration?
I have. I look at collaboration as building relationships with other businesses, not necessarily a business exchange. And it is nice sometimes when you're like, I'm the go-to person. I'm the guy that they're going to because they need my help and my expertise. And so it is fun and it is nice and it does build your confidence when you know that somebody looks to you as, I know a guy. And so, yeah, I think that's good for me.
Yeah, agreed. I can't say enough about collaboration. I know sometimes we put pressure on ourselves to be the one-stop shop, to know everything and do everything and give the best service to our clients. But sometimes giving the best service to your client does mean delegating it out to someone who is better than you. And it's okay for someone to be better than you at a task. Like, you don't have to know all the things. If anyone ever asks, would I collaborate or do everything on my own? Of course, I'm going to always 100% say I will always collaborate because I know that there are people out there who do know things that I don't know and can do things a lot better than I can. And it's not just offloading stuff that I don't like to do. It's no, these people are actual experts in this field and I don't have that expertise, but I want to be able to help the client reach their goals. So I'm not going to fake it till I make it. The stage I'm at right now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to bring in an expert and I'm going to give them the best option that I have available for them so they can accomplish their goals and move forward with their life. So yeah, always collaborate all the way.
Yeah.
This has been a great conversation today. I I think what I'm taking away from all of us talking, collaborating, is that you don't need to be the best. You just need to be well connected. You need to be personable, collaborative, reliable. And that's what makes people not only want to hire you, but refer you. And I think that's really important in the online service provider community.
Yeah, I think comparison overall, I think comparison sends the message of there's not enough, but collaboration says we're better together. And I think if we can get that in our head, we'll grow faster, not only in business, but in as people as well.
Any final thoughts, Maniba?
I think we wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I think we had a really great conversation today. And if any collaborate, all of our LinkedIns are open. We're always ready to have coffee chats and collaborate and get in on the fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions for us, please reach out. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great week.